the best manager in world football? Question sign or exclamation point or period? Which one is it? And as a Liverpool fan, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think right now in this current vein of form that Liverpool are showing, he is becoming, if not already, the best manager in the world. Now, we can put it down to luck. It could be down to you haven't gotten any injuries. But as a manager, you want to prevent that as best as possible. Because managing really isn't only just about tactics. It's not only about man management in terms of training, but also it's about what happens in the back room with the medical staff, with the physio, with the dietitian. There's so many factors that bear into that, and you can see that the evidence is right there. The evidence is showing that he is currently the best manager in the world. Now, person may say that that's a bit premature. The injuries, Arsenal didn't give a challenge, a proper challenge, title challenge like last season. And that is true. But if we're going to be honest, Arsenal were 9 points by game week 13. Arsenal, when they had the injury where Saka had gone injured at Crystal Palace, game week 18 in December, we're already 7 points behind. This is with Kai Havertz, this is with Martinelli, this is with Odegaard all back. Marino was there as well. Saka just got injured. And what has happened is that Liverpool has consistently been doing their job, which is to lead and win. Arsenal had multiple opportunities to do so. But what does a great manager do? Keep focus on the prize that is ahead. Yes, there are refereeing calls. Yes, there are some decisions that don't go your way. But you are the leader of a group that has world-class, if not generational talent. And what your role is as a manager is to lead them to the promised land. And we're seeing that right now. If you're going to break it down into a few points, the first point would be coming into this, that was not given a fair chance. No one knew who he was. And of course, unfortunately for Manchester United fans, he was another bald-headed Dutch who we saw with Erik ten Hag was not good. So automatically that narrative was already established that it's not a good manager. But as he's come in and shown that he is tactically astute with the best, injury or not, he is going to go for the win. And his first point, the first point that we see is that his adaptability. He is able to adapt to each game according to how they play. With Jurgen Klopp last year, he was solely focused, main focus, not solely, but dominant in possession, dominant in field tilt, dominant in how they wanted to press, dominant in just completely overshadowing and completely neutralizing any attack that the enemy, that their opponent would want. But with Slot, his adaptability to each game, meaning he doesn't necessarily just want control of the ball. No, he can render that control like what he did with Man City and won 2-0. He can render that control as he played with Real Madrid in the Champions League. He can render that control in the Newcastle game prior to in December. Multiple games where he showed that I don't necessarily need the ball in order to control a game. But his ability to adapt is one that stands out more than anything. Because the first thing that he said the philosophy between myself and Jurgen Klopp is that we want the same thing. But I just want to be a little bit more cautious in how we control the game or have possession of the ball. And Sky Sports showed a stat where Jurgen Klopp last year had 61.34% of possession compared to Arne this season, that is 56.5%, which means having the ball or not does not matter to Arne Slot. What he's looking for is the best chance and the best opportunity to win. So he's going to set up against a team that wants to have the ball and say, okay, you can have the ball, but we're going to dominate in a particular area of the field. You won't get behind. We're going to cut off all supplies or cut off all spaces where you can't run in behind or pass the ball through, as we saw in the Manchester City game last week. So his ability to adapt. His next one, and I think a point that needs to be brought up, is communication. If you want to become a great manager, you have to communicate. You have to find a way to explain your philosophy, explain the tactic going into the next game, And Arne Slot really showed that. Trent even said that. Trent in an interview said that the first time that I spoke with this man and he showed me how I was defending, he thought initially I was going to criticize his defending. But what he says was that no, what I want you to do is just slightly turn your body to a particular degree angle where you're able to kind of stop the opponent from bypassing you. Communication. And you can see that in the way each game, how they set up, how he wants Ryan Gravenberch to set up, where Gakpo needs to be in terms of when they're playing long balls, where Salah needs to be, or how Salah plays to each game. I think that's a super important. Communication in terms of what is expected in a game. And we know that the first half of the season, he was known as a second half genius, where he was able to change his tactics in second half and then able to apply those and neutralize and go on to win the games. That is a major one. In-game tacticians. Another one really is the ability to improve players. Of course, the main one is Ryan Gravenberch, and the other one would be Dominic Szoboszlai, who has been on an absolute tear. As a Liverpool fan, I was worried about him, how he was playing, how the intensity, his press, how he would come off in terms of goal scoring opportunities, getting the assist. And initially, the first half of the season, he was a little bit wayward, but coming on into the second half of the season, January last month, January and February, you saw where the improvements were made. His pressing isn't just about running all over the place and getting near the ball. He's pressing with an intention to cut off a supply, to get the ball, and then to go on to score. His ability in Dominic Szoboszlai to now find key passes, at least 2 or 3 per game, which is very impressive. The link-up play between him and Mohamed Salah, who has just been absolutely phenomenal, truly. But you're seeing where improvements are made. You're seeing where little subtle changes as to how to play the ball when you're 2-1 down. We saw that in the Tottenham game. If you want to play a basketball game, Tottenham, okay, fine, I'll play the basketball game. Let's go with that. And initially you saw that at Anfield, persons were a little bit, I don't know how he is. I was uncertain if he's able to kind of do what Jurgen Klopp, and that happens comparison with another legend in Jurgen Klopp. But there is passion. And the best example I could find, 2 actually, was one with the Chelsea game when Nunes fouled, I think it was Reece James. And you saw it like, and the most recent one that we saw was the Everton match, which I absolutely loved his passion. He did not care. He's going to tell you as it is, whether you are a referee, whether you are a fellow teammate or an opponent. He's going to tell you. You saw that passion. And for a Liverpool manager, you need that passion. As much as he has that level or demeanor of calmness and control, beneath that, you're seeing where passion is necessary. You have communication. So Arne Slot, with these 4 factors, I am crowning you as the best manager in the world. So if you like this video, I'm asking that you can like it, share it with your friends, share it with your family members, whether you are a fellow Liverpool fan like myself or an opponent, but we still can have a conversation. So until next time, take care.